did you know fluoride can actually prevent tooth decay? But before we get into the detail of this topic, we first need to have a basic understanding of the use of fluoride and also on the formation of the tooth decay. So, fluoride is a compound of the naturally occurring element fluorine and is part of a chemical group called halogen. So here are the 3 examples of how fluoride can be found in our daily lives. The first example is toothpaste ingredients. And sodium fluoride is probably the most commonly used chemical that can be found in toothpaste and mouthwash. Our second example is a compound called CFC. This compound is produced industrially and is often used in fire extinguisher. And the third example is tea. Tea plant accumulates fluoride in their leaves, and in general, the oldest leaves contains the most fluoride. And now we will be moving on into the formation of tooth decay. So, as you can see from this diagram, the 3 main structures of our tooth are enamel, dentin, and sediment. Your enamel is mainly composed of a very rich in calcium mineral called hydroxyapatite. And here are basically its crystal structure and its molecular structures. And there are basically 2 main processes that's happening continuously in your mouth. The first process is called demineralization. Demineralization contributes to the formation of tooth decays. It is the process where the calcium compounds are dissolved away from enamels. And the second process is called remineralization. It is exactly the opposite of demineralization. In this process, the minerals from your oral environment is reincorporated back into your enamel. This reverses the damage that's caused during the demineralization process. And so the acids that cause the tooth demineralization is produced by the bacteria in our mouth. And these bacteria are living organisms like we do, and they use sugar as their food source, and the waste products that they produce are the acids that cause the process of demineralization. So basically, fluoride can fight against tooth decays in 3 principal ways. The first way is fluoride promotes tooth remineralization. The presence of fluoride is able to attract minerals such as calcium, therefore it is able to speed up the process of remineralization. The second way is fluoride can make a tooth more decay resistant. So as you can see from this equation, when hydroxyapatite reacts with acids, it results in tooth decays, where the calcium mineral is dissolved away from the enamel. But when fluoride is present during this process, a new compound is formed, and this compound here is called fluoroapatite. Fluoroapatite is less soluble than hydroxyapatite. Therefore, it can withstand a lower pH of 4.5 rather than a normal 5.5. And therefore, it is much more resistant to the damage that can be caused by the acid. And the third way is fluoride can inhibit oral bacteria's ability to create acids. Fluoride is capable of blocking the enzyme system of the bacteria, therefore disrupt its ability to produce acids. And the less quantity of the sugar that they can consume, the less acid that they will produce. So, since fluoride is so efficient in fighting against tooth disease, now people are starting to introducing fluoride into our daily drinking water. But there are, of course, that problems may arise in terms of in dealing with water fluoridations. And one of the main problems is dental fluorosis. Dental fluorosis is a condition that's caused by the chronic ingestion of too much fluoride during the time when the child's tooth enamel is forming. So, as indicated by this table, if you ingest 1 part per million of fluoride, you can reduce up to 50% of tooth decay. But if you ingest more than 2 parts per million of fluoride, dental fluorosis may result. So as you can see from these pictures, the chalky white lines that appears on the surface of the tooth are the indication of dental fluorosis. And this picture on the right hand side is a much more severe case of dental fluorosis. Another issue may arise with water fluoridation is whether the chemical that's used for water fluoridation is safe for ingestion. Fluoride chemicals used for water fluoridation, such as sodium fluoride and hydrofluorosilicate acids, they are both the co-product of the phosphate fertilizer industry, and almost all water treatment chemicals, such as the chlorine gas or the fluoride compounds, are all very toxic to human in its very high concentrated form. But when it's very diluted and only added in a very small amount, it shouldn't be such a problem to human health. And as mentioned before, there are of course benefits and risks regarding to water fluoridation. And the possible benefits including reductions in tooth decays. And also, fluoride is not a very expensive chemical, therefore it is very beneficial for people who are in the lower socio-economic class. And the possible risks included fluoride is very toxic if it is ingested in a large amount. And dental fluorosis can also be a problem. And research also indicates that certain cancer can be linked to the ingestion of fluoride. Despite all the possible risks that water fluoridation may possess, our Canadian government still strongly support the idea of water fluoridation. So maybe I'll just read you a couple of lines that's from the article. So the Canadian government has said that the fluoridation of drinking water supply is a well-accepted measure to protect public health and is strongly supported by scientific evidence. And our Canadian Dental Association has also made a policy on the use of fluoride. Fluoride should continue to be added to municipal water supply where natural concentrations are less than 0.3 parts per million. A statement of fluoride concentration should continue to be printed on the toothpaste tube. Fluoride concentration should be stated on any foods or drinks containing fluoride. So fluoride can actually be very, very beneficial to the public if it is used appropriately and certain policy is made on the use of fluoride. And also, doesn't matter whether you agree water fluoridation or not, but the easiest way to maintain a healthy and clean teeth is to basically brush your teeth at least 2 to 3 times carefully every day. And that's my presentation, and thank you for listening.